Hello, listeners.
Too sexy. Oh, God.
I gotta get my Tony Todd voice. D. Hello, listeners. Thank you for turning in to A Drink of Blood and a Taste of Flesh. In today's episode, we are talking about a wonderful actor that I almost said actress that has been around for a long time. He has been noted as I am fucking up, bro.
It's all good.
Editing.
Hey, it's Nic Cage
Brian
talking
editing
about.
shit.
No, this is how you do it. This is Francis Ford Coppola's cousin. Nephew, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Nephew?
I think it's his nephew. Did you not know that?
I did not.
Yeah,
He's
wild.
8 years old.
Here, let me make sure it's nephew or cousin. I think
Holy
it's
shit.
nephew.
A relation, either way.
Pulling out the cell phone.
Yeah.
Fuck, I did not know that. Damn.
Yeah, his
I would've
name
lost
is
out.
Nicholas Coppola. His
Yes.
real name isn't.
If that were on Jeopardy, I would have lost.
Oh, random trivia note too.
Yeah, nephew.
Tying in also, Nicolas Cage's son is the guitar player in a black metal band known as Black Anvil.
That's really cool. Did not know that.
Yeah, Black Anvil is actually a really rad band too.
I'll have to listen to him.
Fun.
It's not all just black metal. They have like thrash and different stuff. It might.
Oh, he wears eyeliner on the bottom.
It might be a little. Some of their stuff might be up your alley. Some of it might not.
Okay.
But Nicolas Cage is rad. He's a Coppola. He has a kid that plays metal.
Nice.
And, you can't settle Nicolas Cage down.
No.
So,
Free spirit.
all right, let's start this podcast up. I know we've talked about movies, but what's the first Nicolas Cage movie you've ever watched?
Raising Arizona.
Okay.
I mean,
See, for me,
truthfully.
it was Con Air.
Really? That's hilarious.
It's the first one that, off the top of my head, that I can
Yeah,
pull out, remember.
that's understandable. I think mine either was The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson, but The Rock or Matchstick Man. I can't remember which one I watched first.
Oh, God,
For me, I might add in Matchstick Man, The Rock,
That's
because
good.
I can't remember which one came out around the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I distinctly remember my mom taking me to the theater to see Con Air.
Wow.
That's the reason that sticks out, because it's an early theater memory.
Okay. And what about you?
Mine is probably The Rock or Con Air because Mom
Yes.
loves action movies.
Oh my God.
That's why I love Rachel.
Y'all's
I
moms
just-
were cooler than mine. Way cooler than mine.
I just can't remember. I feel like it was The Rock, because I watched it on TV, and I didn't, mean to watch it. I was just fucking watching it, because it was, we had antennas, the only
Passively,
thing
yeah.
we were putting it on.
No,
But
I love Con Air, man.
I've never watched Con Air. I think we had a friend that was on a hardcore hunt for a DVD copy of Con Air and couldn't find it for years. It's on Blu-ray now.
Rated.
My favorite thing about Con Air with Nic Cage is the hair.
Yeah.
Especially when he gets off the train, he's like, freedom.
Yeah.
His hair is like doing the L'Oreal
I mean,
thing.
it's good for a one-time watch if you're just gonna say, yeah, I've seen Con
John
Air.
Malkovich is awesome in it.
Yeah.
Cyrus the Virus.
Oh God, yeah.
That's so funny. So we're going to open up with a wonderful movie. I'm doing this wonderful accent for you all because Nicolas Cage did a nice British accent for this movie called...
That's what it was fucking
Yeah, it was supposed to be a British accent.
We were trying to figure that out the whole time. I even had it. I said his accent's awful. What the fuck is this?
It's because he sounded like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It was very affected. It was I'm Peter Lowe.
Yeah, and then it would go in and out. And he was going,
Well, yeah, I wrote that too. I said in and out.
He goes, this is the worst job anyone's ever had. I'm giving it to you.
That's a good impression.
Yeah, that was perfect. Well, if you haven't figured it out yet, we're talking about Vampire's Kiss.
From 1989.
And this is,
Heroes
what is
Park.
nice about this movie is this really shows how fucking crazy of an actor Nicolas Cage is, because all his movies prior to that, you didn't have Nicolas Cage.
Wasn't he doing soap opera shit too?
I think so. But even before that, you had Valley Girl, you had, there was something else. Wild at Heart came out afterwards.
Oh my God, yes.
What am I missing besides
Wild at
Fast
Heart.
Times? Fast Times, he was in it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, you can still.
But regardless, that's the start of it. And then, like, Wild at Heart, I think David Lynch probably fucked him up.
Oh
It's like,
my
all right, bro, you're doing all this.
David
And
Lynch traumatizes everyone.
It's the ticks in it. When he's like,
Right?
you know, and I'm like, what? I was watching this and I was like, this is dumb.
No,
Right?
But I'm intrigued.
You truly see the beginning of Nic Cage's career as overacting, and I'm
Yep.
going to use air quotes when I say that because, in my opinion, it's not overacting. For the role, it calls for that amount. A man in crisis, thinking that he has lost love, he's unlovable, he turns into a fucking vampire, for God's sake.
He literally flips over the fucking couch.
To make a coffee.
The context being like the 1980s, New York, that
He's
kind
a
of stuff.
yuppie. He's a.
Right.
He's out to the bar every night, hooking up with a different chick
It's like
every
a
night.
Sex and the City episode that never happened.
He's Carrie Bradshaw, but a vampire.
yeah.
The thing that got me with her with the overacting thing is when one of the times when he's coming down the stairs and he like forces the laughing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he gets into the taxi.
But you realize that's a chick from Candyman? The mixed chick that he's with? She's from Candyman.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't realize
she's
that.
the friend in the first
Yeah.
Candyman movie.
No, I didn't think
But
about that at
the
all.
whole time I thought that, and then I'm like, what is up with this? I'm like, dude, that is so forced.
Yeah, it
This
is.
has to speak to my ignorance because before that, he said that you chose Vampire's Kiss. I had never watched it ever.
Yeah, neither of you guys
I've
watched it,
scrolled,
right?
but I've scrolled past it.
Right.
100%. I didn't even know about it. I wasn't cultured, you know? I didn't know the true gravity or how it would truly impact my life to watch Vampire's Kiss. It's,
And people think Robert Pattinson is hot, okay?
oh my God.
No. Get Nicolas Cage
I love
back in
Nic
his
Cage
prime.
with the hair.
Oh, yeah.
Looking in the mirror. You guys can't see this, but I'm styling my hair unless you watch the video up
An
there.
extremely young Jennifer Beals that plays the vampire that you know bites him. He puts the little tiny Band-Aid on his neck,
And
thinking
leaves it
I'm
there.
gonna see the fucking bite marks here, and it just. Every single bit of it, it's probably a 2-hour long runtime film.
I think it was
It's an hour and 40, hour
You
and 50
have
minutes.
to sit through it. It is delightful. It's so unhinged from start to beginning that it just takes you on a wild ride. I mean, chef's kiss.
And
It's
the fucking counselor,
delightful.
the therapist he's seeing.
Oh my God.
But
Let me
here's the
set
question.
you up on a date.
I feel that the counselor isn't real.
Completely.
I feel like both black
Yep.
girls aren't real.
Yep.
And I think he's just kind of going around. I
It's
think
a
he's,
psychosis.
They're eating your treat bag. Random
Oh.
cat thing going on right now.
the thing about this movie is you go, oh, this is
It's
about
so
Nicolas Cage.
delusional.
Yeah. And you don't really understand what's going on, and you just kind of deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, like, the biggest question, though, is he really a boss at this place?
Oh.
Because I low-key feel that he's not.
Oh no.
And
didn't
so I
even
think
think
it's
of
just
that
all in his
beforehand.
I was
mind.
gonna say it's really hard to tell because like the hallucination.
Right.
He's fucking delusional as shit.
Right.
And then like the psychotic break when he takes the secretary's gun
Mm-hmm.
and it has the blanks and he tries to shoot himself and he's like, maybe I am a vampire.
Right.
Because he
that just-
survived 2
yeah.
gunshots to the fucking face.
And that
Right.
just pushes the psychotic episode he's having more.
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't
you're
know.
right. You don't
That's-
really know
That's
what's
the
true
fun
and what's
thing.
not.
Right.
What's
'Cause I-
reality? Because you're seeing it just from his eyes.
Mhm.
And the interactions that he has with the therapist towards the end of the film, when in reality he's talking to like
the
a
wall.
pillar.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. Brilliant.
Right.
Give this man an Oscar for this film alone.
Yeah.
I
Truly.
like that movie. You know the Nicolas Cage meme with the eye.
Yeah, that's where
That's
it's
the movie.
from.
It's
Yeah.
from. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wrote that in my notes. I was like, it's the fucking bean face.
I didn't
Exactly.
either. I didn't either.
But it's such a wild movie because you got this man that's in love with this one girl, but he finds a vampire that looks really similar to the girl that he's dating.
Almost.
And so you
spot
go,
on.
oh, is this, what is this? And you don't really can tell. And then somebody can insert a joke right there, but we're going to move on. That, like, you look at something like that, and then, you look at this secretary that has to look for this piece of paper that's his contract for this guy.
Maria Conchita Alonso in
Right.
one of her starring roles. Come on now.
And it's just so wild, because ultimately this movie's not about him being a vampire at all. It's about him beating this woman to
Going
death at
through
this
a
point.
complete mental crisis,
Hey.
Right.
a complete breakdown. I listened to an interview with Nicolas Cage. He said that he did 2 takes of eating a roach live.
Oh yeah, and you definitely know
I
he
have
ate that
He-
bitch.
That was the first question we both had. We were like,
Yeah.
when we first watched that, she was
I was
like,
shocked.
she's like, is he actually eating it?
My
Oh,
mouth, my
That's how
mouth,
I'd eat a roach, dude.
my mouth was agape. Like I was like, I'm shocked at this right now.
Right.
I don't even know what to do.
How stressed do you think they were though about that roach going into the stove and then them not getting it? Like they had to be like, "Oh, you better fucking
You're a
hurry up and
camera
get this."
guy. How the hell would you feel with it?
I'd be freaking out. I don't do fucking roaches, so.
No.
And to watch somebody sit there and fucking eat it, like.
I liked when he got the pigeon too.
Oh my god. No, multiple times throughout that film,
Let me know real quick.
Oh, go ahead. I listened to him in an interview with one of his. It's either one of the directors or one of the cinematographers or something like that. They drugged the pigeon for him in order to snag it and put it in his jacket pocket.
Yeah.
I'm not even shitting you. Like I wish I were.
That's so
PETA,
Pigeon
we're
LSD.
sorry. Yes, we're sorry. We're sorry.
This is the prime of PETA life too.
Oh my
Not 89, yeah.
They got complaints about eating the roach. They
Yeah.
did. When he's frantic, he's manic, he's like, I don't know what to do.
They really got complaints about him eating a fucking
They
roach?
did. And you want to know what Nicolas Cage's response to that was? He asked the person who was making the complaint, who's, potentially PETA adjacent, he said, do you have Raid in your house right now? And they didn't even answer back, so there lies the case.
But it's just.
What did you think? We've been going at it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's fucking
We
brilliant,
watched it
dude.
3 times now.
What?
it's like I told you, I
For
enjoyed
real?
it more after.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No, it was crazy. If I was that secretary, I would have quit. Like,
Can you
I
believe
wouldn't put
when
blanks in
he
that gun
called the
either.
cab to go to her house and was like, "Please come to work. I know you're not sick. I got a package of soup for you." Like I can't even.
How the fuck did he even know? Yeah, we got the soup for you in this little baggie for you.
I know.
Let's go have some tea, please.
At this point, I would highly recommend this to any single person that I've ever met in my life. I simply love Vampire's Kiss. It is. I would watch this and just have it be like in background noise while I'm doing something because it's so quotable. There's so many one-lines. His accent is.
fucking atrocious.
Yeah, it's so bad.
You can't
Why?
put your
Did they think
finger
it was
on it.
good? I don't. That's the biggest problem with this movie is just
Because
who
it is.
said, "Hey." I would understand if it was now. Like, if Nicolas Cage was like, hey, I'm going to do this British accent now and everybody's going to be okay with it. But this is, like, before he's peaked, which he still hasn't peaked yet in his career. But, like, he's just
He's
already
a
doing
youngin'.
off-the-wall shit and they're letting him do it. Like, how did he... They were just like, well, you're Francis Ford Coppola's nephew, so just go ahead and do what you want. And he just kind of fucking did it. It's just so
he
weird.
had to prove himself.
I also think this director hasn't done like hardly anything
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, but you say that, but we look at the other movies on our list and we go, well, these directors only done like 3 movies.
Yeah, truly.
Which is wild. And
Yeah.
they're all fucking amazing, so
Yeah.
there's that to it.
It's so, I mean, if you want to boil it down to anything, it's a man who can't find love. He's a yuppie in whatever unnamed city he's in, Chicago, New York, whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. He's just a paper pusher. He wants money. He wants to club at night when you can still smoke cigarettes in an actual bar. Like, go figure.
Dude, that's
you
the
know?
type of club
Yeah.
that would do a coke in the bathroom.
No, sincerely though, sincerely. And he's just trying to find himself, and unfortunately he finds himself as a vampire.
With plastic teeth in his mouth.
Oh my
Going
gosh.
around
I wrote
eating
that in.
people.
When he
he
went to the store, and he tried to find the nicer fangs.
And he found the plastic
And he was like,
bitches.
oh no, I can't afford these. I gotta get the little chompers.
And when
like,
he bites the woman's neck and kills her and then
Yeah.
puts in the thing,
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
He tried to bite the pillow at first to make sure he was becoming a vampire. To make sure he was becoming a vampire, and he's like, oh no, I can't bite the pillow.
Right.
I flipped my coffin over, or my couch into a coffin.
That guy came to beat his ass, and he
Oh
flips
my
open the
God.
couch like a fucking coffin, and you just go,
Yes.
what is happening?
Yes. The acting is superb.
me.
Like, 10 out of 10. I would watch it over and over and over again. It's delightful. I have to give it 2 thumbs up if I were Roger Ebert.
What was our scale we agreed on last time?
I couldn't fucking
We
tell you.
talked about
I don't even know.
We were talking about jingle sleigh balls or something at that point.
I forgot about our Christmas episode.
Is that as good as Santa
Yes.
sleigh?
Yes.
Better than Santa
Better.
sleigh.
Yes,
Let's give it
better.
out a 0 out of 5.
Okay.
Vampire's Kiss, 0 out of 5. Phil,
I feel like we're not
Phil
going
says
to do
5.
any of these
5.
that's under 5.
No, it's absolutely 5.
Oh, Justin's going to give it under 5 just because we brought up Santa sleigh.
No, he's
Hey,
straight up,
Triggered.
before like the hour and like 13-minute mark, he was like, "Oh my god, do we have to keep watching?"
I really was.
And I was like,
this
yes.
Could you imagine if you would have missed that ending, though? I would have been talking about it and be like, I didn't get to the end. I go, you fucked up!
Because I watched the ending and I'm like, this is great. And then after processing the movie, I was like, this actually wasn't that bad. I was just
This
not
is a whole
in the
traumatic-
moment.
No, listen,
We
the
gotta
first time I
process.
watched it, I was like, man, this is a slow movie. But then it goes crazy.
hits.
The pace
Yeah.
went
Like-
woof.
Yeah. So, but what do I get? I give it like a 4. Because there's movies on this list that are definitely better than Vampire's Kiss.
Oh,
and
man.
I can't
for,
give it a
for
perfect...
different reasons, for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely.
I mean, this is the oldest movie on our list. Because we're
Yeah,
talking
1989.
30 years later.
Yeah.
We're talking...
Hey, we're old. That's
Yeah.
the year she was born. I'm already a year old.
You gotta expose me like that, damn. All right.
I would say for myself, Phil's 5 out of 5. You're 4 out of
Yeah.
5. I think I'll go with Kyle. 4 out of 5.
No, if you were truthful, you'd be like 2.5.
No, after watching it, I am being able to process it. It's a lot
Organically.
different.
I'm surprised you're not giving it a 3, to be honest with you.
I know.
To even have the thought that, like, all right, I'm ready
But-
to turn this off.
but-
I don't think it deserves
Oh,
a 4 in your opinion.
But I feel like it deserves a 4, which is something that made me mad that she kept bringing up, but I was able to process it.
Right.
She kept trying to get into American Psycho and Patrick Bateman.
And see, that's the thing, though, because it does. You cannot tell me that movie has not
It pissed
influenced
me off
that.
so much.
Thank you.
Because I read that book so many times before that
Right.
movie came out, and I was just like, I'm a diehard fan of that fucking
Thank you.
movie.
The cadence, the accents,
But-
everything. He is so affected. I do understand.
Yeah.
Your business
and-
cards.
Yeah.
You know, like,
And
come on now.
it progressed more for me because I could see the lines
Right.
that they was drawn together.
Yeah.
And
A little too closely.
but Cage was way more cheesy
Right,
than
right.
Bale.
I think he was aware of that. I
Yeah.
think he was very
So
hyper
that
aware of that.
tying into like I have like a few movies I consider like top tier favorite movies like ever.
For Nicolas Cage?
No, well,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
for
in
Nick
general.
Cage, but for just like not just horror but action, all that kind of stuff. And like my top 5 American Psycho is in there, so being
Right.
able to tie that in, and then being able to actually process the tie-in, I'm like, yeah, I can see it. You see it throughout the whole fucking
Yeah.
movie.
It's
So
strange, yeah.
I'm like 4 out of 5 because it ties into one of my favorite movies.
Right. I think the biggest difference, though, is like Vampire's Kiss, it's all delusional, but American Psycho, it's like, oh no, I'm fucking doing this.
This is
Yeah.
too
You
real.
know what I mean?
Too real. Yep, absolutely.
What about you, Rachel? What do you rate it?
Probably a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think the mean or median, I sucked at math, whatever, would be a 4 out of 5 there.
Yeah.
Definitely. We'll go with that.
Our next movie was picked by Rachel. It is something I will let her introduce.
The next movie is Mom and Dad, which is about, I don't even know if it was
The
like...
Hokey Pokey?
Yeah. No, that's another movie. It was about moms and dads trying to kill their offspring. I don't know how they got to that point, if it was like a virus or
I think
what caused it.
the Dr. Oz segment said it was a virus.
Oh
I think
my
it was
God.
a virus.
Cameo by Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
But this is a perfect movie for Nicolas Cage because he could go extremely crazy. Like at the end, he's chasing his son around the house, barking like a dog.
I couldn't believe that. I could not believe
I
that.
died laughing into the living
Yeah.
room when we were watching it. It fucking broke me.
Unintentionally,
It
yeah.
broke me.
The very opening scene of that is so sobering when you see this woman park her SUV onto railroad tracks and she just walks out of it, and the child, it's implied, the child is just, boom, it's fucking roasted. Like, that kid is toast, bro.
Yeah.
He's done.
I like
kid bones, you know?
I like the reason you picked this, because, like, a lot, the typical suburban family stuff, and I like how that tied into it a lot.
The sheer insanity of white middle class life, you know, with kids.
Well, when he's in the basement and with the wife, and when he breaks the pool table, I went from $145,000 job to a $45,000 job, and you still expect me to keep this fucking house going?
And the almost like sadly comical aspect of that is that's before, like months and months before they even turn into these murderous monsters and that they're trying to kill their own offspring, as you said, is he's having a temper tantrum about putting a pool table in a man cave in a basement. I mean, this is just their organic living situation. He's fucking wigging about this shit for no reason. And she says, "Oh, can we really afford that?" And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna rage now. I'm 12." You know, this is before even the onslaught of like, we're gonna kill our little children. You know, how strange that was.
I just love that he finally got the pool table perfect. And he goes, I'm fucking taking a sledgehammer to this bitch.
You're being a bit emotional.
Yeah.
Like, reel it back in,
right?
Please.
It's so funny.
I like the subcontext, because, like, the parents are having, like, a midlife crisis, because their parents, they're also having, like, marital conflict. Like, it's like, we're trying to solve our marriage while we're trying to kill our children when we're not in our right fucking mind.
Right.
Because, like, when they're trying to break down the basement door, when the kids go in the basement, they're literally talking about their problems as husband and wife.
Right.
And then they're also trying to kill their kids. And I
think it's because they just found a scapegoat.
And I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell's going on here?
Did you not find the opening scene to be one of the funniest things you've ever seen when all the moms go and rush the school gate and all the kids are like, I'm trying to get out. That's my mom. That's my mom. That's my mom. And the one climbs over and they fucking just murder that little child. It's child murder in the first like 10 minutes of the film. Oh my god.
These parents fuck their kids up.
Yeah. Do you like low-key feel like the writer of the script was just like, I
Working some
can't
shit
stand
out.
kids. I'm having marriage problems. Let's make this movie about where all the parents regret their children and just kill them
Yes.
Well, like in the scene too, when her sister has the baby and she's trying to kill it with the umbilical cord.
Right.
That was absurd.
This is a movie that when I watched it, I didn't expect this at all. Because I just like, oh, everybody's freaking out about Mom and Dad, so I'm going to watch it. You know, this is back in my game exchange days, so I got a Blu-ray of it when it came in, and me and Rachel watched it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And it's just so crazy.
It's a Sawzall, which means it solves all.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Literally all.
Sean would have loved her in that moment. You would have just made my Thomas heart like burst out of his chest.
I know.
Sean would have been like,
She could not wield that weapon for shit. That was sad. Everyone watching that's like, forearm, please, like, come on, like, oh my god. That was Selma Blair, delightful. Nicolas Cage, delightful. I just, wow. The fact that these people were only killing their own children and not going about like, oh, your kids fucking suck, I'm gonna kill them too. No, they had nothing to do with other people's kids.
The little boyfriend thing of the daughter, he like, I mean, they flipped him off the fucking thing.
Well, that's a whole...
Blair hits him with a hammer and shit.
Yeah, but he's a boyfriend, so he's close enough.
Exactly. Yeah, adjacent, you know, for sure.
The thing, too, with the little kid in the basement, and he, like, shoots his mom.
Yeah.
Why did he know where his father's gun was in the first place? PSA.
Well, that's suburban home for you.
Exactly. Hide your guns from your kids. Keep the ammunition separate, babes.
And one of the things I liked about that, too, was the flashback with the kid. When he's, like, talking to him about sex.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Don't fucking touch my car, though.
I will literally kill him. He's like, ha.
Okay,
shit, he means he's going to kill me.
I just love that, like, Nicolas Cage is just, the kids have locked themselves in the basement, he's just laying down next to the door. Get the fuck out of here!
I would say, in probably 3 out of these 4 films does he overact, and this is, but in a good way. Like Nicolas Cage.
I think it was needed in this movie.
Yes, completely. He's so unhinged in the most delightful, time-sensitive ways.
Well, and it ties back into what you're saying about him running around barking at his kid like a dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he's like, his parents come over and they're trying to kill him, and he was like, "You never loved me as a child!" And he's just yelling at him.
Let's not forget Lance Henriksen as Nicolas Cage's father. They ding dong.
Yeah.
They ring on the doorbell.
2 thumbs up.
We're here to see you and kill you. So like these old ass like grandparents are here to kill their son and daughter-in-law, while the son and daughter-in-law are trying to kill their own biological children. It's so generationally positive.
Well, and then when the mom stops, "That's your son. You don't even kill my husband." Right. And then she tries to kill her daughter.
Right.
Yep. I love it.
So fucking cool.
It has a really good runtime too. Like, it's paced very well.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's something. If you haven't seen it yet, you absolutely need to watch it. Is it free on Hulu, perhaps?
I think that's where we watched it.
I think so too. So if you have that, I highly recommend checking it out. Amazing.
It's not Hulu, it's Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be on Netflix.
One of those, yeah.
All them random ass
It's delightfully bloody.
Listen, I know all you guys got more than just Netflix,
I
so
swear.
just check.
I
It
swear.
literally is on there somewhere.
We're all spending too much money for that shit, but it's fine.
Right.
It's worth it.
So, what do you give this movie since you picked it?
Probably a 4 too.
A 4 as well? Are you going to give any of these movies a 5?
I don't know.
Nah, I'm giving it a 4 as well. 4 mom and dads.
Mm-hmm.
So, 16 in total.
I'm going with a 4.
That's
also.
8. I am retarded.
Well, squared. You never know.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah,
I was trying to like double
I
the
agree.
4 and I
I agree.
I squared it.
Yes.
Definitely a 4. Definitely a 4.
You're still a mathematical genius, so don't feel bad about it. I agree. I think that's going to be the 4th, 4 out of 4, 4 out of 5, whatever.
The only thing that could have got at like a 4.5 out of 5 for me, which is because obviously the next movie we're getting ready to talk about is it could have just been a tad bit more brutal.
Yeah, I can see that.
If
The woman literally left the car on the railroad and obliterated her child.
And
that was insane.
And the kids blow up Nic Cage with the matches.
That's,
Nick Cage,
in the first 10 minutes, they're running from their parents at the high school, and that guy Brian Urlacher, his own child, he tackled that fucking kid and beat him to death on the
I would have
ground.
got a 4.5 if it could have just been a little
I get
bit
it
more
because
brutal.
this movie to me is a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
I
not
love
like
this
you know what I
movie.
mean. Like
Yeah.
it is a dark comedy.
This
if you
movie's
don't have
great.
a fucked up
Yep.
humor, you're not gonna like this movie.
Yeah.
It's some kind of social commentary.
Right.
You know, it really
This movie's
is.
great.
It'll
Like,
make you think. It's
Yeah.
fun.
if you're a Con Air fan of Nic Cage, you're not gonna like Mom and Dad Nic Cage.
No, not at all. He doesn't have the sexy hair in this movie, so.
Unfortunately.
Bro, his hair looks like it's the implants and dye.
It
Yeah.
does. It does.
Maybe that's what you wanted this character to be. You know what I mean?
Run to your pick now. It is time for.
Oh, hold on. Since we're in halftime, though, I do want to bring up something real quick.
Halftime
though.
break. We don't have Dre and Eminem.
Before we get into other ones, because I think I'm lying. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just want to bring up Color Out of Space.
Oh my
I was
God.
And
thinking about that the whole
I
time we were
didn't
talking
choose
about
this.
Mom
I
and
guess we
Dad.
should have talked about this
I
after we
was
talked about the
borderline,
other
yeah.
two.
Special mentions.
Honorable
Yeah.
mention,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, we'll say
We'll do
that
our
then.
honorable mention.
We'll say honorable mention at the end. I don't know. I felt like I wanted to bring it up because I
agree.
feel that we'll go. Never mind. Fuck me. We'll just
Remember,
continue. Anyways, the
remember
next
our
one.
fourth movie, honorable mentions.
Yes.
Mandy is,
Ooh.
if I were to have a top 17
Justin wrote an entire
film
Dude,
of
look
all
for
time.
this.
He wrote the script. He
Yes.
just decided he wanted
Yes.
to say the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So what this podcast has turned into is all of us playing all the roles in Mandy.
100%.
What's your favorite planet?
I know.
Jupiter.
Galactus.
You
Yeah.
gotta be Mandy though, and I can
Yeah.
be red.
I'll be cute. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah.
bitch is weird looking.
She shouldn't have had a middle part. That's where I killed you.
She's just a weird girl. I don't know. I think it's her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't
You
think she
wanna-
has eyebrows either.
That's probably another problem.
Because,
with it.
yeah, and...
Give your movie intro.
Oh, my God. One of the top 17 films, if I were to rate of my whole entire life, this would be I would have a list, and it's in the top 17 because it's beautiful. It is a film about love and grief, and I think that if you are into those two subjects, in a very brutal and sad and heart-crushing way, it's going to consume you.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour-long runtime. Amazing cinematography. Great soundtrack. You're going to shit your pants when you watch this. It's broken up into 3 beautiful chapters. It's kind of like the Lord of the Rings film a little bit, but it's gorgeous.
I mean, Elijah Wood did produce this movie.
He did. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that. Thank you. It's stunning. It's supposed to be 1983. The director talked about this time in his life as his parents were a little bit controlling. They wouldn't let him watch horror movies, so that all he could do when he went to video stores was look at the covers of horror films, and he got these crazy ideas about how beautiful these films would be based on the covers of these films. Spoiler alert, they're not that beautiful.
He created them in his head.
Absolutely.
And that's where his movies came
from. He
from.
has such an imagination.
I don't remember the name of the movie he came out with before.
Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Yes.
That's such a good movie, too.
That's a movie that's super, I hate always, comparing this movie to this director, but if you like Stanley Kubrick, Space Odyssey and shit,
oh my god,
you will like Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Right,
because it's so wild.
Yes.
And then I would also put Under the Skin with this too, just because
very moody, super moody.
Right.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Sci-fi is shit.
A big thing I liked about this was it looked like one of those old school midnight movies, the revenge flicks from 70s and 80s. I Spit on Your Grave, that kind of stuff. But you don't catch that in the first act. It's a love story. It's Red and Mandy.
She is his life.
Yeah.
She is the sun of the whole entire universe for him, honestly. And I think it is beautiful. She's obsessed with this imagery of 70s, 80s kind of style of fantasy sort of work, and it's stunning because she's herself an illustrator, and she gets stuck in these worlds, and it's obviously very imagination based, and he's just some blue-collar dude super in love with this weird chick, right? They live in the middle of the woods, and immediately you're like, that's gonna go wrong, and then it does, which is really unfortunate.
Talking about horror movies.
I know.
Shit's happening.
If you watch this, you will have dreams about it, and I want to forewarn folks
because
about
that movie's a dream.
It's the fucking colors in it, man. The fucking blood red and it's purple, and
if you do
colorblind,
this is a good one to watch.
Well, that ties into
it's
man
so
when he kills the demonic virus.
Yeah, and he takes all those fucking
that LSD shit.
Dude. That's the last thing I'm fucking doing. You got these weird ass Hellraiser ass bikers and all this leather and needles and shit. And you're gonna sit here and take a whole bunch of LSD?
He had nothing left to live for after he defeated the Manson-like cult. That, spoiler alert, killed his wife.
Children of the New Dawn.
Yeah.
I wrote that in there because I thought that name was hilarious.
It was so dark and saturated, and the colors are so gorgeous. I mean, it will stick with you for a while.
As a horror fan too, one of the things that caught me in the first minute was when they were putting in the casting credits, and I saw the name Richard Brake.
Yep.
Oh my god, dude!
Very underrated.
That's a fucking oh man.
Yeah.
I love Rich Brake, dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
The very first time watching this movie, when I saw that name Rich Brake, I was like, "Bet this is about to be badass."
Yeah.
And I went into it with I tried not to go into Nic Cage horror with knowing too much about it, because you're either going to be disappointed or you're going to love it.
Right.
Yeah.
And in this one, spoiler alert, I loved it.
Yeah.
But seeing the name Rich Brake, that made me, yes, this guy.
Well, being a horror fan, let's bring this up, though. You can't tell me the influence. I already brought up that the biker gang is like Hellraiser.
Absolutely.
But also...
You get a lot of the Mad Max with the spikes and the shit, too.
But then also, you have that big-ass chainsaw that looks like from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 Leatherface.
Beautiful.
The Solace family.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
You can't tell me that's not,
well,
somebody didn't see that and go, yes.
Yep.
when I looked up the thing I was telling you about, which I'll add in this trivia right now, the axe that he makes is actually from the logo for the metal band Celtic Frost from the 80s. It's the F in the Frost of Celtic Frost, which is supposed to pay homage to his wife because she's, alternative metalhead kind of thing. Tying into how you were saying it's kind of like inspired by that different stuff. When I was looking that up, I also read that the wood scene in the fire, it's all inspired by Jason and Friday the 13th.
Yeah, they live by Camp Crystal Lake.
They
do.
The chainsaw scene, the director even wrote, I got the idea from fucking Leatherface.
Right.
Who in horror isn't into fucking Tobe Hooper and Leatherface?
Exactly.
So all that ties in, and that director's very aware of it.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, he even put in Camp fucking Crystal Lake.
Right.
So.
I mean, do you love a love story? And it's the build up, the first third of that film. It's not even brooding. It's not even like, oh, I'm expecting something really bad to happen. It's just beautiful. It's very organic. He loves her and she loves him. You just see snippets of their life and where they live in the middle of the woods. Probably Pacific Northwest America. It's gorgeous. You have to know that something doom is going to happen eventually. And I think that he never truly gets over her loss. And so the whole film is him grieving through the whole stages of grief. Because initially he's so filled with just rage. And when... there's a whole scene with Nic Cage and his tighty whities. So if that's if that's up your alley, then please watch this for sure.
Fucking loses his mind in the bathroom.
Right.
Grief fuels him into rage, and then into almost a quiet darkness when he's going through the rest of the killings. It's just so sobering. It's so stunning.
I put a black hole of grief into brutal reality.
Yeah.
He has nothing left to live for. He does not. She was his be-all, end-all.
And that biker LSD just sends him over the edge.
Right,
what little bit of human was left in Red.
Just like
Cage's character was named Red. What little bit's left there is just fucking gone.
I mean, obviously,
he was putting a foot in somebody's ass.
Oh my god.
Since
Literally, yes.
Right.
Yes. Her death scene, though, is so...
I love her laughing at him.
It's so uncomfortable.
Cult leader guy.
Yep.
And it like belittles him, and she's just laughing at his face.
When he made her take the LSD, and then he shows his not super sizable dick. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not fucking like, well, I don't want to shame any of our viewers.
Fun fact, though, that guy, the cult leader, was actually originally supposed to be Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage was like, no, I want to be Red. And they actually told him no, and then they go, are we fucking stupid? So they brought him back and was like, alright, you be Red.
Yes. The guy...
that role was perfect.
The guy that plays Elijah Sands was in Lord of the Rings with Elijah Wood anyway, so that's a fun little...
Well, Elijah Wood was like, hey, we need to get Nicolas Cage on this. And Elijah Wood sent him the script, and Nicolas Cage was like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Bet. We're in it.
And a thing that made me laugh with this movie, because it pops back into my head every time I watch it, is that fucking goblin thing.
Oh yeah, Cheddar Goblin. Yep.
What? You're so bogged down by the heavy themes of this, and then you see
he's watching a fucking commercial and teaching about cheese.
Yeah.
They dedicate 30 seconds at least of screen time to this one
and
commercial.
And it's so
what?
fucking everybody fucking loves it. You talk about Mandy, you can't not talk about the Cheddar Goblin.
There's actual Cheddar Goblin.
Cheddar Goblin
merch out there.
Yeah.
It's so you're just like, what? Am I traumatized? Is this supposed to be funny? I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh or not.
But it is crazy because we keep bringing up the beginning because it's so dreamlike and so chill, and then it just gets fucking chaos.
Oh, God.
It's literally chaos the rest of the time.
It's a brutal ass revenge flick.
Yeah, exactly.
After the first act, it's fucking murder. Yep. And he's creative as shit with these murders too.
But the killings are just fucking amazing.
Well, just the visuals in general are amazing because when the cult leader's talking to her and her face superimposes onto his face, it's crazy.
Yeah.
and you don't know if it's him or her because they match up almost perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost some Possessor style shit. Have you guys watched the movie
Yes.
Possessor?
Yes.
I love. Listen,
Did you watch? We'll talk about it in a minute.
I have a boner for Andrea Riseborough. I really do.
Yeah.
I loved that movie.
I think
Thank you, a Cronenberg.
Yeah.
You know, baby Cronenberg.
tying back into Mandy,
Mm-hmm.
as a metal musician and everything, I just enjoyed a lot of the heavy.
Dude, the soundtrack.
The soundtrack, the heavy metal undertones,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that the acts, those logos
Right.
were heavy metal fucking fonts and different
Right.
stuff.
And then
the
also
shirt
just,
she's
like,
wearing,
Yeah, and
and
this,
then the brutality of it all,
Mhm.
and the shooting with the reds and the purples and the blues.
right.
A lot of that was done in like 80s, 90s, like heavy fucking metal, not the
Mhm.
glam or hair metal
Right.
poison bullshit, but like, you know, the true, not true, because that's gonna make me sound elitist, but like the heavier side of
Yeah,
metal.
like Mayhem, where they killed their own. You know, the guy killed himself. They used that the fucking.
and that's the album cover.
Yeah.
But and that's another thing I enjoyed about this movie from a whole different perspective.
Mm.
I would have been into this movie if I wasn't a horror fan and just a straight metalhead, which somehow if you're a metalhead you're a horror fan. It just ties
It
in
works
together.
out.
But if just as a straight like music metalhead type person, I'd have been into this movie because I would have turned it on and first saw her wearing a fucking Motley Crue shirt.
Yeah.
I'm like, bet. I'm
Right,
gonna
right.
watch this. And then it's Nic Cage. I'm like, yeah. And
Yeah.
then hearing the soundtrack, the music, the cinematography, the way the pictures are, the colors.
So fucking
I'm
dope.
colorblind, dude, and I still could see a majority of those colors
Right.
and know what was going on. And if I'm intrigued by the colors as someone that's colorblind,
Mhm.
I can only imagine what a person that's not colorblind with the fucking like the
Oh,
sky
yeah.
scenes and the different things, and like when he's having the flashbacks of Mandy when after he's killing people and doing things like that with like the reds around her and how she's the main thing in focus and he's out of
Celestial.
focus.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I'm intrigued by these colors. So if someone that's not colorblind
Yeah.
sees this, I would expect someone to be like, damn, this is
Right.
cinematography. I don't know the other words for it. That's
I mean, that's
Yeah,
the best one.
yeah,
The
but-
goodest one.
the goodest one. Just the way it's shot, like I like I said, was just blown away by color choices alone.
Right. And just to also touch on, like, even there's some Blu-rays out there where Mandy is a black metal looking logo that's for Mandy, which is fucking sick,
Hell
too.
yeah.
But, no, the soundtrack is something I definitely wanted to bring up, because that soundtrack is too good. Like, it's so wild that this movie, because, like, and let's talk, because, you know, we have crazy-ass Nic Cage, but, like, Nicolas Cage is perfect in this movie. He's, like, he's not overacting in this movie.
No.
And that's what's so great about this movie is, like, this movie is a fucking art piece.
Yep.
And he did what he needed to do. But what's also great is, like, you watch the behind the scenes, and, like, he was talking to the director, and the director's like, what's up, Nicolas Cage? And he's like, listen, dude, like, what if I go up to her and I go, you ripped my shirt! You ripped my shirt! And the director's just fucking laughing. He's like, yeah, do whatever you want, dude. Like, they had so much trust in Nic Cage, and I assume, like, he just did what he wanted, he felt was right. And he didn't overact in this movie.
A lot of
It was perfect.
I like how he emoted
Mhm.
during this movie. Like, as a wrestling fan, Crimson Mask, the blood covered face. Seeing him emote even with the blood covered face and that fucking smile when he shows them pearly whites.
Oh my god.
The emotions when she's being burned.
Right.
And it's slow motion, but you see Nic Cage is so focused on it. And
Well,
you're just like,
and it eventually falls when he is so settled in his grief. And he's like, okay, maybe I'm done being super emotional right now. I'm just about the murdering.
Mhm.
And he takes the LSD towards the end of the film, and he ends up killing the cult leader. And he stands over this guy before crushing his skull beautifully, Gallagher, like watermelon style, and says, "I'm your god now."
Mhm.
You know, it's perfect.
Right.
What an ending. I mean.
Yeah, this movie is just so fucking wild. This is the reason
we
why
could do an entire fucking podcast.
Yeah, I know.
on this movie
and the
alone.
director,
I
who
agree.
lost his parents at a young age, ended it purposely, I think, like that, because there is no end to grief. You just live with it.
Yeah.
And so the ending to the film seems, it might feel unfinished to you the first time you watch it, but it's not. That's just, you're evolving with your own grief.
Right.
So, you know, what can you do other than just house it somewhere in you, and you just carry it around forever. And that's the implication of what he does eventually at the end.
And grief is such a hard thing to deal with, and this movie shows like how people deal with it in different ways.
Right.
And a lot of people don't expect the brutality behind grief, but like, if you've ever had someone murdered and someone you know in that sense, revenge is on your mind. And this movie, he acts out that revenge in a very just insane fucking way.
In a very metal way.
Yeah. Well, like I said, dude, the axe, the fucking crossbow. The one scene where he like snaps that dude's fucking neck with like, one fucking hand, then he like snaps his head around, and it's like, bro. It's like, Nic Cage, you're a fucking badass. Where was this at 20 years ago when you were fighting Cyrus the Virus Con Air?
Heard Con Air is the one that has the perfect score.
I don't know why
that's the one we're saving for last is Con Air.
I don't know why.
That's a nice segue. So Con Air is a movie about it's a rip off of Top Gun.
Truly though, yeah.
So
this one gets a 5 out of 5.
I was gonna say final thoughts for me.
Yeah.
Definitely fucking full on. I love the revenge flick. I love the love story because she can tell you I love romantic comedy movies. It's like my guilty pleasure. The love story, the brutality, the fucking soundtrack, the cinematography, the colors, Nic Cage.
There's a photo like
this movie's 5 out of 5.
Oh yeah,
5 out of 5.
Also, just like looking at it from an editing standpoint, like they posted this picture when I was watching the behind the scenes. And that timeline looks so insane to me, and I'm just going, the amount of work that these people went into just to edit this film, like, especially with the colors and shit, like...
And it being 2 hours fucking long.
It's just insane, dude. Absolutely insane.
Alfie's over there saying hi to Rachel. They're loving, I swear. 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5.
Yes.
5 out of 5.
As well.
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Perfect
Oh, wow,
score.
it's a perfect Nic Cage.
Booker T.
4
would be
sides.
proud.
Yeah.
5 times! 5 times! God, I gotta
5 times
I gotta tie everything into wrestling.
It'll be impossible. Well, this is one thing you could tie your movie into is humping pinball machines.
Bro. The
Drinking and humping pineapples. Why do I keep saying pineapples? Pinball machines.
The fourth movie was my pick. The first movie was Kyle's pick. The second movie was Rachel. The third movie was Phil. The fourth movie, which we just decided to do this chronologically, literally like 30 seconds before I hit record. But it's Willy's Wonderland. The reason I picked this one is because I feel like a lot of it's Willy's Wonderland's overlooked a lot in the sense because you got the awesomeness of Mom and Dad and fucking Mandy, and then Color Out of Space and what's the Prisoners of Ghostland.
Yeah, but that just came out.
Yeah, that's just fucking. But I feel like Willy's is kind of.
Well, it's because I do want to touch on this though because I feel like people like
my cat.
They like that Banana Splits movie, and I think that movie is utter garbage.
See,
that movie fucking sucks.
I didn't enjoy Banana Split, but I enjoyed Willy's Wonderland. To add the context to Willy's Wonderland, and let three people elaborate. Willy's Wonderland starts out, dude's driving down the highway, flooring it, Camaro SS, looks like a hard ass. Dog tags hanging in the mirror, which they never elaborate on. Sorry, random side note. I wrote that in here. Why the fuck are the dog tags in the window? I want to know what Nic Cage did to be able, for one, to afford this rad-ass car. Two, why the fuck is he driving out in the middle of goddamn nowhere like a maniac? And then he runs over a police spike strip. Fucking Alfie. My cat is trying to get on my lap. And then the spike strip, and then the movie unfolds, and I'll let everybody else talk about that because personally, I'm a huge fan of this movie because it's like it's a fucked up
music
Chuck E.
stuck
Cheese,
in your head for the rest of your life.
It's your birthday.
Oh my god, I wanted to die slightly.
I want to go to Rachel because like we've been really excited about all these movies. I want to hear your take.
For Willy's Wonderland, I love how Nicolas Cage doesn't have a single line in this movie at all. He doesn't talk.
Thank you.
And these teenagers are kind of really dumb, especially the couple that goes into the party room and decide to have sex. Like,
yep.
What? You know this place is haunted.
Yeah, and then she's
You
like,
never
This is the room that they had the satanic bullshit, and you want to go fucking.
Is it
You're
the
horny now,
pentagram
what?
still on the floor?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
can't you still
Yeah.
see the pentagram on the floor?
They deserve to get killed.
I agree.
It was not the time to danger bang.
Danger bang.
They weren't.
Please trademark that.
But no, this my biggest thing about this movie is this director had this movie and they're like, "Hey Nick, we want you to be in this movie. You have no lines.
Mm-hmm.
How much do they pay him?" That's all I want to know from an independent movie maker. How much do they pay him?
That's very
Because
curious.
this movie is not big budget. So like, did he was just like, yeah, I'll just do it for $10,000 or something? There's
I don't
no
know
way.
why I know this for context, but he got paid $40,000 for Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah.
I know that. So compare
Google
this.
said.
According to the Google, as my mother would say, Willy's Wonderland grossed $418,000 in North America, and $26,925 of that went to Nic Cage.
So $26,000 have Nicolas Cage in your movie.
That's poverty wages.
I just want to let you know that Bill Moseley, okay, this is a random fact that I know, has nothing to do with, just to go back to the independent movie making. Bill Moseley charges $10,000 to be in a film, but you also have to fly him out in first class, and you also have to put him up and feed him. So
Baller.
to know that Nicolas Cage is $16,000 more than Bill Moseley, which is crazy because they're both.
Well,
like,
the amount of money he made for some of the other movies we talked to, maybe
Right.
he just enjoyed the script and
But-
was like, "I'm Nic Cage. I'm just gonna do."
But
this."
also at the same point, none of these movies, including Mandy, are big
High
box.
budget.
None of these,
Yep.
all these movies went straight to theater.
yeah,
They went all
I think
straight
that was
to Blu-ray.
I think that was a thing. This also said that the budget for holy shit, why was the budget for that so expensive?
Probably all
The budget for
animatronics.
Willy's
Yeah.
Wonderland is $5 million.
It's the animatronics for that fucking movie. But I mean, look, everybody watched that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Anybody you know is like, "Hey, did you watch Willy?" "Yeah, I watched that movie."
Yeah.
Like, how did you watch it? But most of the time, I think it's because it was on Netflix.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So.
Yep.
But it's pretty wild that
it's
they.
easily accessible, which is great about it.
Right.
Well, and the thing with Willy's Wonderland is we live in a generation of people. We dealt with the animatronic shit as kids.
Right.
Fucking Chuck E. Cheese and all the different things.
And people don't get that now.
No.
Yeah, and to tie into the storyline so people know what they're getting into with Willy's Wonderland, after his car, the tires blow out, he gets picked up by this tow truck, which is like ominously like there 2 seconds after his fucking tires explode, which ties into more of the movie. He gets offered to clean up the satanic murder fucking Willy's Wonderland, which has these animatronic, it's like a siren and an ostrich and like a gator and a turtle and like this kind of these different things. But our generation, from like I would say like 25 to 35, honestly a little older, we went to places like Chuck E. Cheese and different things that had these animatronic fucking creepy ass things that would sing to you, dance and talk. And that's the thing with Willy's Wonderland is when he gets into Willy's Wonderland, I think the first one he kills.
It's ostrich.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bucks up that animatronic bird demon with a mop handle, and that's how the movie like goes on. And again, Nic Cage has no fucking lines, but that's why I wanted to know about the dog tags. What is this dude's backstory?
Right.
He just fucked up a giant animatronic bird with a mop handle.
Right.
And then the gorilla that comes after him in the bathroom, he
Yeah.
fucks that dude up too.
Right.
And he just consistently keeps fucking these giant ass animatronic things
Right.
up. What the fuck?
It's just so crazy.
Why is Nic Cage such a hard ass in this flick? And why doesn't he have any lines?
Right?
The most lines you get is
teenagers.
Yeah.
he's beating
Yeah.
shit.
He doesn't say a single word in this movie.
No, it's the teenagers.
Yeah.
And that the one young heroine, essentially, who leads everyone almost unceremoniously to their deaths, and she's like, "Why did you guys come in here? I told you you weren't supposed to fucking come in here.
Right.
You're all gonna die." And
that
then they
was-
all died.
And that was one thing I liked too with Cage was like, this motherfucker's drinking soda, playing pinball while these motherfuckers are getting murdered.
Right.
And he knows they're getting murdered.
Yeah.
But his watch beeps, and he's like, "Man, I got a break."
And
Yeah,
then,
I'm
yeah,
gonna play
yeah.
pinball, drink my
Right.
soda, and I hear a scream. Oh, I got a high score though.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just so wild because there's a lot of conspiracies with this movie too. They think that like the girl is Nicolas Cage's daughter and shit like that, and like
I didn't know about
yeah, there's
Oh,
some
that's
weird
fun,
conspiracies
that's
about
fun.
this movie.
I didn't know that.
And that's
because
one
like
of them.
I thoroughly just enjoy this flick.
Right.
Because you get horror with the sense that like you get demonically fucking possessed, like they're child molester possessed.
Mm-hmm.
The animatronic fucking things that Nic Cage fucks
It
up.
actually has a backstory to
Yeah.
the animatronic characters, which is interesting. I'm glad they included that.
Right.
But I wanted the backstory on Nic Cage.
Yeah.
Why is he such a hard ass? Why don't you elaborate on why Nic Cage is such a hard ass?
And it just makes you want more from the movie.
I wanted the
Yes.
backstory on the pop because he like
Yeah.
every single time he drinks a pop and then
And I wrote that.
Yeah,
I wrote that
yeah.
in there too. I was like, why does he keep drinking these fucking sodas? And then all of a sudden he can fuck these things up like
Yeah.
it's no
Right.
issue.
Popeye shit, yeah.
I mean my spinach.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. And this all happens in one night.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
the thing too. It's in the one night of it all,
Mhm.
and again, you sit through a lot of this without a lot of dialogue.
Right.
It's just you get dialogue from the
A lot of
animatronic,
action.
from the animatronics even because even when the ostrich, I'm gonna peck your face off.
Yeah.
And he's just like, bam, punches
Yeah.
the motherfucker in the face. Like
Yeah.
one thing I like about it too is when his watch beeps in that scene when the girl, the cop's daughter that survived one of the Willy's Wonderland things. When his watch beeps and he just hands her the knife
Yeah,
and walks
and
away,
yeah.
and then starts playing pinball
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Yeah, he was like, fuck you, I gotta go do this, dude.
Bye.
Like, there's no waiting. Like, nothing's gonna get in between him
Yep.
and having his little break. It's so weird.
But it makes you think, like Rachel said, what the fuck's in that punch?
Right.
Yes, yes.
Why, after he goes and takes his break and drinks his punch, all of a sudden he's like fucking superhuman, let me Hulk out on these
Right.
animatronic demons?
Maybe he's just a stab at Popeye. Maybe the joke was like, hey, you're gonna act like Popeye, alright?
Yep.
You're gonna drink this energy drink and you're just gonna have superpowers.
One of my favorite things of this that broke the seriousness of it is towards the end when he's playing pinball and he starts clapping and spinning.
Yeah,
his hands.
yeah.
Oh my God.
I love it. You get like crazy Nic Cage. Like you
Mhm.
get badass Nic Cage throughout all this, and then
Right.
you start getting the unhinged. I'm gonna dance and play,
Right.
but I'm still covered in blood. I'm just doing my thing. Like
Yeah.
leave me the fuck alone. Let me drink my soda that I don't know what the fuck this does to me.
Right. And why did nobody else drink it?
Girl drinks it at
yeah,
the end.
You're right, you're right.
But she kind of looks at him and she's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. There's something in that fucking shit.
I agree.
I wonder if they'll make a second one.
I wish, dude.
But how?
It felt like they
Well,
were leading up to that.
I
you
would
know?
I would like to see what happens because like obviously all of them are dead, and at the end the siren blows herself up,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and then they run
Right.
over the Mexican turtle thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So what's happening with Nick and her?
right.
Is he going to keep her? She's a
See, I
minor
think
for
that's
one
where they-
thing,
yeah.
which is kind of.
Mhm.
See,
They
that's
left
where
the
that
door open.
conspiracy comes in, that it's his daughter
Yeah.
and shit, so.
Are we going to hear him talk?
Doubtful. I think that's the whole gimmick with this movie,
Yeah.
he just doesn't talk.
well,
You
it was,
you
Maybe
had
he's
a
a mute.
flashback.
it was kind of nice because you kind of got it reversed from like normal slasher movies. The slasher doesn't talk; they don't have
Right.
any lines. But this one, the
hero.
animatronics
Mhm.
talked instead of the hero.
Yeah.
Right. Very true.
It's play on
I
the
like
tropes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
I didn't
that.
even think about
Loving
that.
it.
Yeah, that's just.
I'm
That's
still thinking
that's
danger
intellectual
banging.
shit right there. Yes. Oh my God. That has to be crazy.
But
I'm telling you, you'll
your
make so
trope
much money
thing,
off
your
that.
trope thing too, though. That
Mhm.
that's a
Spot on.
It's a good thought
Spot on.
process because thinking of a movie that came out just even recently for a while, even was the Scream movies. Unless it
Mhm.
was a phone call, dude really didn't talk in person.
Right.
But so it's just flipped. I like the idea. It's a flipped horror
Mhm.
trope.
Right.
Your hero doesn't speak, but he fucks these demons.
Yeah.
My favorite, we're talking favorite kills from this movie, which I enjoy. I enjoy pretty much anything in this movie that Nic Cage fucks these demons up wise.
Right.
But I really like when he fucking like curb stomps the fucking gorilla to the
yes,
ground.
yes.
And he's just kicking his head and kicking. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And then when he ripped the gators,
yeah.
fucking,
And I love that, like all the guts and shit are coming out too. Like this thing it has
You
guts.
expect it, yeah.
I also loved when he was killing them when they were playing head, shoulders, knees, and toes while he was killing them.
Yeah. The music throughout this film is just.
I forgot about the head, shoulders,
It's a
knees, and toes
mood.
thing, yeah.
So funny.
It's a fucked up Chuck E.
So we got the
Cheese,
Hokey Pokey and Mom and Dad, and we got Head and Shoulders, and
Yeah.
fucking Willy
Yeah.
Wonderland.
It's your birthday.
Yeah.
You'll never
So
get that
funny.
out of your head
I
for
know.
the whole
Nope.
entire night that you watch this film.
Yeah.
It's done.
So before we move on to honorable mention Nic Cage movies, I say for this one, I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5.
Oh wow! I give it 4 Chuck E. Cheese's pizzas with the pepperoni on it.
Nasty ass Chuck E.
There you
Cheese
go.
pizza.
You gotta have the pep. You
That
gotta
shit's
have the pep.
worse than fucking Little Caesars, bro.
Listen, I had Little Caesars today, and I gotta poop so bad.
You can use the bathroom when we're done. I just gotta get you.
No, you're good.
He's very dogging it.
I got 4.5 out of 5.
I
Miles got 4 out of 5.
And
Rachel's
the
got.
4 out of 5.
I'm gonna go with a 3.7.
Ooh,
Yeah.
She's sleeping on
there
the
you go with
couch
that
tonight.
7.
Almost a 4, but you know, I gotta be real specific with that shit, yeah.
She's sleeping on the couch
Mm-hmm.
tonight.
But yeah, honorable mentions. The only reason why I want to bring it up is because if it wasn't for both of you guys not watching Vampire's Kiss, I was going to choose Color Out of Space.
Oh
And-
my
Because I need to give it
Well,
another watch.
And that's the
I haven't.
thing both of us enjoy. I fucking love that movie, dude. The flashbacks and like the tie-ins to like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and
Yeah.
like cool 80s sci-fi horror.
Right.
Color Out of Space is another, honestly, like all these movies we talk about with Nic Cage,
Mhm.
is another like hidden gem. Color Out of Space is so fucking good.
Yeah, but
Beautiful.
fuck that director. But anyways.
But I didn't know until after.
yeah,
but
of course.
fucking-
But no, like,
yeah.
but there's just one scene in Color Out of Space I don't fucking understand. He pulls out this fucking Italian accent out of his ass
Oh my
for
God.
some
Yeah.
fucking reason, and you go, what? Why was that? And then it never happens
Are
again.
we watching the same
Yeah,
film?
yeah,
Did you change it?
What
Are we
makes
good?
you do this?
Mhm.
Yeah, I just thought that was
Yeah,
fucking funny.
Color Out of Space definitely deserves an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Even though it just came out recently. Prisoners of Ghostland.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. But
Oh my
I own
god, dude. Fucking.
Bill Mosley's in that too.
If
Yes,
anything,
and he-
So the budget of that film was $36,000.
Nicolas Cage wears a suit the whole
It's like
entire
a-
film
yeah.
that has multiple points where there are little bombs on it. And please just know, if you don't want to watch it for any other reason than he gets one of his testicles blown off,
Hell
then
yeah.
please watch
This
it for
movie,
that.
this movie
It's a
ties
pro-
in. It ties in like parts from Mandy, parts from Willy's Wonderland,
Yeah.
parts
It
from
is
Woman,
beautiful.
and parts from Vampire's Kiss with the weird acting from him.
Right.
But you get the Mad Max vibe, you get the Wild West vibe, you get apocalyptic horror. Just
Yeah.
Right.
it ties
Very
in
cool.
so many diverse like horror tropes into one flick.
Right.
Like after we watched,
set
after we watched,
designs
yeah,
of that
the
are-
sets. Oh my, the costumes,
Right,
the sets.
It's
The
like an
fa-
I Spy book.
After
You
the
look
first
at
time
so
of
many
watching
different
it, we were
things.
like, "What the fuck did we just watch?"
Yeah.
Right.
It was like this went from a western to a horror to a fucking comedy
Very
to a
cool.
sci-fi movie
Yeah.
to
Very
like,
cool.
what the hell?
So many
Right.
extras were involved in that film.
And it
I
had to
just
be
have say
filmed
they
in
do
like
an amazing job.
It had to be filmed in like 2 different locations because
Mm-hmm.
initially it was filmed in like Asia or something, but COVID happened.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember reading like Cage paid for it to be finished in like
That's
fucking
amazing.
Mexico or some
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
They didn't have as intense COVID restrictions.
pretty wild.
Very
recommend
cool.
watching
Yeah.
this, but going into it with an open mind because it is all over the fucking
Yeah.
place.
It is, yeah. I think that he does. I don't know. As a family man, I think Nic Cage really comes into his own role. Like Color Out of Space, him being the dad, the husband, is just wow. Watching that family descend into madness almost in such a not a super slow way, but slow enough where you get to see the individuals and they're each individually going through it. Oh my god. Stunning. And they're so isolated, and you have to watch it at least once.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
truly.
for sure. Also, the
It's-
random cameo of Cheech.
Mm.
No,
Oh my
no,
God!
Chong, Tommy
Chong.
Chong.
Yes,
Tommy Chong.
yes.
Yeah.
What even was
I always go
Yeah.
Cheech and Chong, and the reason why Cheech came out first.
Do you have an honorable mention?
I don't think so.
Watch The Rock.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But here's one more question then. What's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie? Because I would have to say Matchstick Man. I don't know why, but it's just a movie that I watched when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I watched it as an adult too, and like, there's something about that movie that's
Yeah.
just so fucking
It's
good
the
to me.
nostalgia effect. Yeah.
And that, I don't know, that and Wild at Heart is wild.
Oh my god, please.
That
watch
fucking
it, yes.
snakeskin jacket, give it to me,
What?
please.
It's
Give it to me.
I don't think I could pick.
You couldn't pick a favorite?
Yeah, because I like Raising Arizona, I like Wild
Yeah.
at Heart, but I like Con Air, I like The
Yeah.
Rock.
Yeah, I even
But
like Valley Girl.
But I was
so-
going to say
Yes,
Valley Girl's not
yes.
bad.
Yeah.
I also enjoy, like I said, Willy's Wonderland, Colorado Space. I also really like the movie Pig that he's in.
I haven't watched
And
that
Me
then-
yet.
either.
but
It's
I
on
haven't.
my watch list.
And
yeah.
there's a movie that he's in called Snake Eyes with Gary
Yeah.
Sinise that I really fucking like.
Yeah.
And
Lieutenant Dan.
I don't, dude, it's hard because this guy's had, a
It's just
40-year-long acting career.
And every movie, everybody knows the fucking title.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he's still going strong.
You got Gone in 60 Seconds. You got fucking.
and the cast in
Oh,
Gone
damn.
in 60
Yeah.
Seconds. You got Giovanni Ribisi and fucking Angelina
Yeah.
Jolie, and it's
Nicolas
insane.
Cage is an A-list actor,
He
regardless
is,
if you
yeah.
think so or not. But this
Yep.
man has so many acting credits under
Yep.
his belt
Yep.
and been with huge stars.
Mhm.
You know, you got the Coen brothers with Raising Arizona. You got fucking. I cannot remember. I can't think of the director that did. I think the director that did Matchstick Men is the same director that did Forrest Gump. I think I'm wrong.
I'm not sure.
I think
not
I'm
sure
wrong
the
on that
context
one.
on that
I
one.
gotta, or it's Ridley
But
Scott. It's
that
one
is-
of those.
But then you add in the actors he's worked with too, just from all
Mhm.
that. Even just with the most, like, going back to talking about Con Air,
It was Ridley Scott.
Mhm.
you got John Malkovich.
Not Forrest Gump.
John Malkovich is one of the, like,
Right.
John Malkovich is a very well-known actor.
I think it's only because of being John Malkovich.
But-
I think so.
Listen, I don't think
Yeah.
I've watched a single
Well,
fucking movie with John Malkovich.
I
in it,
agree.
Besides maybe Red.
And then
Yeah.
you got Danny Trejo.
Yeah, which has 3,000 acting credits.
Yeah. And then pulling in the Gary Sinise from Snake
Mhm.
Eyes, and you got the fucking god of James Bond, Sean Connery in The
Yeah,
Rock.
yeah.
And that's naming one person that's in The Rock. That maybe
Right.
the whole cast of the military guys in The Rock, that's all like who's who of like action at that
Yeah.
time. And then, tying in the Raising Arizona and
Right.
Valley Girl, and then pulling in what the fuck am I even trying to think? The people in Vampire's Kiss too, because you got the
Mhm.
shit from the 80s though.
Yeah.
Flashdance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got Flashdance, you got Candyman.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude's worked the who's who of actors in pulling in Gone in 60 Seconds, like I
Right.
said. Angelina Jolie's
We
like
should
a
have looked
very
up his
well-known
upcoming projects.
and prominent actress.
Right.
Anyone that knows movies knows at least who the fuck Angelina Jolie
Right.
is.
But I will say, though, like, I was never actually a big Nick Cage fan when I was younger.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it took these new movies,
Mhm.
Mandy, Color Out of Space, Willy's Wonderland, to make me really
Yeah, I
appreciate
agree.
him. Because
Mhm.
to me, it's like, oh, this is a Nicolas Cage movie, you gotta watch this. It's like Bad Lieutenant, where he's just losing his fucking mind. And, like, I didn't really understand it. And now, like, I actually understand his acting style, and what he is, and just... I love that he's in these horror movies.
Mhm.
I love
Absolutely.
that his career has just skyrocketed again into
Yep.
these horror movies,
Yep.
and they're perfect for him. And I
He
think
needs
that's
to
what's so
continue
great
that
about
trend. I think that would
it.
be
Yeah,
really good
of
for
course.
him.
I'm not tired of it.
On
Well, I
brand.
think you will, because one thing I read is dude's kind of broke right now.
Yeah.
So
After-
I feel like
He has two
He-
albino cobras, and he carries around a vial
He-
of anti-venom with him.
I read that he
Yeah.
went from being worth like 400 million to
Yeah.
like 25 million
Maybe
within a
sell
span of
your
like
private island,
within a span
babe.
of like 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Adding in an ending on this, Nick Cage is a god.
Yes, yes,
He's
yes.
great.
He is one of the
He's an axe wielding, kid killing,
car stealing, wheeling, dealing
OCD
son of a gun.
motherfucker. Yeah.
Taking a Ric Flair promo.
Woo! 4-time heavyweight champion, Nicolas
love it.
Cage. That's the last thing he needs to do is just be on a WWE or AEW thing now, and then he's good.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like Snoop Dogg at that point. All the
Absolutely.
fucking side missions.
Yep.
I hate that motherfucker's
Yep.
on.
Make sure that you check us out on Facebook, YouTube. We were talking earlier about doing an episode on the Foo Fighters' upcoming movie, Studio 666. Also, diving into the insane fucking amount of Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Yeah.
Because Netflix, as of the recording of this, is February 17th. Netflix is releasing a new Leatherface flick. Is it just called Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I'm not sure what they call it.
I think they're doing the whole fucking
The
the
whole
Texas
name.
Chainsaw Massacre, and that's what it is.
Alright.
So we got Texas Chainsaw 76, then we got Texas Chainsaw 2013, and now we got the Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
two other faces.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two
we're gonna dive into the.
new one.
I think this is the 9th overall in the franchise. I don't have all the
Hold on,
posters
there's
above
4, then
You got,
2
you got
remakes.
Texas Chainsaw, then you got Part 2, which is the chili one. You got Part 3, which is the one, the Leatherface
Yep.
with the sauce
And then
family.
you got
the New
McConaughey.
Generation. And then you got the Jessica Biel one.
And then you got the beginning.
The beginning.
Then you got Leatherface.
No, you got Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Yeah, and then
you got Leatherface.
This is number 9.
Yeah. That's gonna be a long ass episode. The Texas Chainsaw
If I don't get
one,
a fucking chainsaw in space, I'm gonna lose my mind.
the Texas Chainsaw episode that's upcoming, maybe split into 2 episodes because we just realized this is 9
one,
fucking movies.
Yeah.
9 fucking
We'll have to
movies.
find some way to, All I gotta tell you guys is that Leatherface, not Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 Leatherface, but Leatherface is complete and utter garbage. And
Yeah.
that's all you need to
0 out
fucking
of 10
know.
don't recommend.
But, yeah, no, so we got some cool ass episodes, so make sure to tune in to A Drink of Blood, A Taste of Flesh.
Stop.